Good morning, everyone. Back in the shop today on a very wet, rainy day here in northeast Louisiana. And it is time for my 2014 Porsche Cayenne S to receive an oil and filter change. Come along with me as we do this together, and I will show you what you're going to need to do this and how to do it, and also how to reset your service indicator in the computer on the dashboard. First though, this is my 2014 Cayenne S. I bought it when it was 3 years old in 2017. It had 50,000 miles on it, and it was a Porsche certified pre-owned vehicle. It is a 2014 S. It is loaded. I have driven it daily, back and forth to work at the hospital, taken it on trips. It's been to Arizona, it's been to Kansas, it's been to Florida. Just a wonderful vehicle. This is a normally aspirated 4.8 liter V8. Last year that they made these, 2015, I do believe the Cayenne S's then went to the Turbo 6. I love V8. It is just an awesome vehicle and a great driving, great riding, very performance-oriented SUV. The original owner bought it in New Orleans and ordered it pretty well blacked out. I mean, it does not have any chrome. This is all piano black. Had the windows tinted a little bit darker than normal. I mean, it is blacked out. He optioned it pretty well. I mean, it has just about everything on it. It has the 19-inch turbo wheels. Look at that reflection in there. It's an awesome vehicle. He loaded it out, full leather. It has the air suspension on it. It has heated seats front and rear, cooled seats in the front. It has panoramic sunroof. I have really enjoyed this vehicle. And it's been very reliable too. I was a little nervous purchasing it because my son, Mike, actually found this on a used car lot here in West Monroe, Louisiana. And he said, "Dad, you gotta go check out this Cayenne that's sitting on the used car lot." And this was one of those little, looked like a mom and pop kind of used car lot. And I was like, why would this thing be there? I didn't understand. I went and took a look at it, and it was so clean. I thought 3 years old, 50,000 miles was kind of high. But I did a lot of investigation and found out that this sticker that's right inside the door here really does mean that it was a Porsche approved pre-owned vehicle. Apparently the first owner leased it for 1 year in New Orleans, put about 6,000 miles on it, and then traded it in at a Porsche dealership in Jackson, Mississippi on a 911. And the dealership in Jackson, let's open up the hood. They had it certified pre-owned, and it was purchased by a physician who lived in Mississippi. There is that beautiful 4.8 V8, normally aspirated. And he used it as a daily driver, and being a doctor in a small town in Mississippi, he put some miles on it. He had a farm on the outskirts of town, and he drove it. But he really needed a truck. So he went to the town of Winsboro, Louisiana, to a Dodge dealership and bought a gigantic Cummins diesel 4-door crew cab monstrosity and traded this thing in. Well, that little town of Winsboro had no idea what to do with a Cayenne, so they shipped it up here to their little satellite dealership in West Monroe and put it on their used car lot. And that's where my son Mike found it. I saw the certified pre-owned sticker in the door. I called Porsche of Jackson because the key still had the fob on it that said Porsche of Jackson. They were very familiar with the car, and all maintenance has been performed on it since day one. They had all the records. The only thing this thing needed was tires. So we struck a deal, and it was a really good deal. I mean, 2014 3-year-old Cayenne S that needed 4 tires, and I paid $37,000, which was a bargain because the original sticker on this thing was $104,000 brand new. Put on some brand new Pirellis, and then continued to go every year to Jackson, which is about 120 miles from here, for its annual maintenance. A couple of things that occurred with it in my ownership was I had to have the transfer case replaced under warranty. It started acting up. They replaced it with another one, but it wasn't the latest updated transfer case. And sure enough, about 2 years later, that transfer case started acting up. Took it back to Jackson, and they put another one in there. They always gave me a loaner car to drive. I was treated like a king. And since then, nothing else other than oil changes. I've had the Jackson, I've had them replace the front brakes and rotors, and routine maintenance. And I've done a lot of the maintenance myself, which included air filter changes, pollen filter changes, and right now I believe I have 127,000 miles on it, and it's time for an oil change. I've always shied away from doing it myself because I did not have the correct tool to reset my service maintenance light, but I've got one now. These are the tools that I'm going to be using to do this. Of course, I like to wear gloves. I've got an 8mm Allen, which is going to be used to remove the drain plug, and I'm going to put a brand new drain plug and washer in. I have a 10mm to take off the bottom shields. I have a 36mm, there it is, 36mm socket, which I'm going to use to take off the oil filter cap. I have my iCar Soft, which has updated software. I have 10 quarts of Mobil 1 European car formula 0W40. And I also have this great little kit that I got from FCP Euro. And this is an oil filter with gaskets and housing. Comes as one unit. And there is the part number right there. And I'm going to change the oil. This iCar Soft that I found it on the Pelican Parts website in their classifieds. And I bought it from a gentleman who used it on his vehicles, but bought a brand new 911, and this was not compatible with his car. He thought it would be compatible with my Cayenne, being a 2014, and I bought it. I only paid $100, which I thought was a bargain. Got it home, hooked it up to my computer, did a software update for free from iCar Soft, and it talks to my vehicle and will allow me to change my maintenance intervals. So I'm excited, but let's get started on this thing. First things first, I am going to put the vehicle on some ramps so I can get up underneath it. But this car has air suspension. And from the owner's manual, it says, raising the vehicle with the jack. When it is necessary to raise the vehicle using a jack, manually set normal level for your suspension and switch off the leveling system. To switch off the level control, you switch on the ignition. You press the rocker switch forward for 10 to 15 seconds. Then a message appears on the multifunction display of the instrument panel. When the rocker switch is released, the vehicle can now be raised. You must do this. You must go and turn off your leveling system before you can change this. And once again, I'm repeating, this is only for vehicles with the air suspension. Inside the vehicle now, I'm going to turn the key on. I'm going to go down to my leveling switch, and I'm going to hold it forward 10 to 15 seconds. And it now says the control is off. So now it is safe to lift your vehicle, so you can put some ramps up under it. And also your lights will be shining right there telling you your system is off. Okay, looking up under the Cayenne now. This is the front of the vehicle right here. Looking back, and these panels are going to have to come off. And as you can see, those are 10 millimeter. You've got four across the front. And then you've got one there. And then this front panel will come off. Then we're going to take off this panel right here, which is up underneath the back of the engine going towards the transmission. I did notice under here that the Porsche dealer actually did not put all of the little panel screws and bolts in. I'm missing a few. Isn't that interesting? All right. Well, we're going to continue on here in just a minute. Sorry. Drain plug is out. It made a mess, guys. You've got 10 quarts of oil in here, and it's hot. And it splashed everywhere. We're just gonna let that drain for a while, and yeah, it did make a mess. Oh well. We're just going to let that drain and drip for a good bit. I want all that oil out of there. Okay, we've slowed down to a slow drip. Looking good. Time for the new drain plug and washer. There, Porsche says 37 foot-pounds, and there we go. Clean it up a little bit. Because I did make a mess. And now it's going to be time for the oil filter. It's a 36 millimeter socket that is on the oil filter housing. It's kind of tight in there because of those two hoses for the oil cooler, but it works. Keep turning it off. It's going to make a mess. Here she comes. I just let it drip for a while because I already made enough of a mess on the other side. We'll just let this drip. Slowly take it off. You can see the green rubber seal on the plastic cap. Here she comes. Now I think this is where it's going to make a big mess. I am going to hold this for a while. So I'm just going to pause the video. The cap is off. The filter is still in there. The cap is just sitting right there. I had to really use both hands. I just did not want to make a mess and destroy my floor even more. But I'm going to reach up in here and pull the filter out. And there it is. And we're just going to let that drain. I didn't get anything on the floor. That's great. This new filter comes with a new cap and a new gasket, all as one assembly. As I showed you earlier, that's the part number. My understanding is that Porsche wants you to change that SS out at every oil change or so as a unit, because the cap actually contains the oil pressure control valve in it. I said, well, fine. And it wasn't that much more expensive to do it this way, and this is an official Porsche part, so let's do it. Before I put the new housing on, I did oil the threads with fresh oil and also the rubber gasket. It just makes it easier to go back in. Always put a little oil on your rubber gasket before you install it. Now we just place it back up in there, tighten it down, and it says 18 foot-pounds. Spinning it back on. Start screwing it in. Get it all the way nice and tight, and torque it to 18 foot-pounds. Next, a funnel and 10 quarts of European car formula Mobil 1 0W40. Oil is in. I've started it up, looked for leaks, everything looking nice and dry. Only thing left to do is to put the covers back on and then reset the maintenance indicator with the computer. My panels are all back on again. Everything's looking good. Wish I had a few more bolts that were apparently lost by the Porsche dealer at some time, but everything's okay. Next thing we're going to do is get inside the vehicle and turn off the maintenance minder for the oil. Okay, all done with the oil and filter change. First thing we need to do, turn the ignition to on. We need to turn on our air suspension again. This is only for vehicles with the air suspension. You hold this all the way down, 15 to 30 seconds. And that will come back up on the dashboard to show you that your air suspension is fine. Now, the next thing we're going to do, we're going to reset our oil service. This is my iCar Soft P700 version 2.0. Now, what you got to do, okay, go into service. Enter. And here are our choices. Oil reset, electronic parking brake, battery monitoring system, electronic traction control, steering angle sensor, DPF, this is not a diesel, so we don't have that. Bleed your ABS system, or you're checking your injectors. It's kind of an interesting, nice little device there, but we want to be on oil reset. So we're going to go to Enter, Loading, Diagnostics for Porsche, Enter, Version List, Enter, we want to do Manual Select, Enter, we're going to select our vehicle. We are a Cayenne 92A 2011 to 2017. Enter. I want to reset oil service. Enter. Turn ignition on. The ignition is on. F2 is OK. F2 F2. Communicating. Input the current date. As you can see, it is 2018-0120. So this is actually, let's see, today, the year is 2024. Today is January. That's going to be 01. Today's date is the 24th. That's 2, 4. Okay. And we're going to hit F2 to finish because our date is now 2024 and January the 24th. F2. Communicating, please wait. Application is complete. F2 is okay. Now, let's take a look and see what it says up on here. We are under Vehicle. Vehicle, we want info, service interval. Okay, let's see, that's main service is due in 1,061 days, intermediate service in 331 days, oil change in 10,000 miles or 365 days. So we have just reset our oil. Now, Porsche recommends 10,000 mile oil changes and an oil change or once a year. I'm gonna go 6 months or 5,000 miles. And we're complete. Okay, oil and filter change is done. Looked over the whole vehicle, things look just fine. How much did this cost me? Well, I bought 2 jugs the Mobil 1 0W40 European formula from Amazon Prime, and they were $36 each with free shipping. The Porsche filter and cap kit from FCP Euro was $35.79, and the Porsche drain plug and washer was $7 for a total of $114.79. My last visit to the dealership for an oil and filter change cost me a little over $350. So I'd say this was worth it. It really didn't take me that long to do. It was done in under an hour. If I wouldn't have been filming, it would have been done a little bit quicker than that, but when you're filming something, it takes a little bit longer. But yeah, I'd say this was worth it, and I will be doing this again. Thanks for watching.